And we are very pleased to welcome you back to the second portion of the starting lineup, brought to you by Play It Again Sports in the Fremont Shopping Center, Battlefield in Fremont, Springfield. Their big baseball sale ending on Sunday, and plenty of ice cream for you tomorrow. And by Swing Right Golf at the south end of Campbell Avenue, a little bit north of Nixon. Get that golf swing down just right. Marshfield Chevrolet at the I-44 exit. And a couple of left turns, and you're on the other side of I-44, the north side, and you are driving right into Marshfield Chevrolet. And Citizens Bank of Rogersville with two locales, one adjacent to Highland Springs and the other at Rogersville itself. Ned Reynolds along with
Scott Puryear
and Art Hains.
Good morning, Arthur.
Morning, guys.
We're going to talk some Bears baseball. We have on the line with us Kyle Cliff. He is the Director of Pitching and the Director of Recruiting for the Missouri State Baseball Bears. Kyle, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on, guys.
You bet. We're catching you on the move. I was joking with you. Every time Joey's on, he's walking, either a neighborhood or a track or something. And sure enough, on our video version here, Kyle Cliff is walking somewhere in Wisconsin. Hopefully you know where you are in Wisconsin, right?
Oh, yeah, just walking around the ball field trying to find some future Bears here.
There you go. And I guess that'd be a great first opening question. What do you do in June and July? Because I know you got to balance your time between checking the portal and see who goes in and who's available, and then actually getting out and seeing players as a recruiting coordinator. Kind of where have your travels taken you in the last few weeks?
So the last few weeks been a little bit all over. Been up in Wisconsin watching some Northwoods baseball, same as Minnesota, and then been in Indiana a few times trying to watch some high school players. The month of June, the first couple weeks, is really trying to get the portal season all figured out, getting your upcoming roster, and then towards the end of the month of June and then July is when you're starting on the road for high school players.
It's interesting you'd be in Wisconsin, Kyle. Specifically, where in Wisconsin are you?
I'm up in Franklin, Wisconsin right now.
I find it interesting because the Atlanta Braves are playing the Cardinals, and a Wisconsin kid is in there leading things off. Drake Baldwin, you know him pretty well.
Absolutely. I'll be watching actually one of his organizations later, so it'll be good to see some of those guys.
Arthur?
So Kyle, you mentioned about the portal situation. I mean, that has completely changed college sports in recent years. How do you all approach that?
So we have a great staff that's able to really sift through. We really use the portal as we need. We're not building our whole team off the portal, kind of seeing what we need at the end of the year and going to find it in there. But we have a full staff that's sifting through names every day and just trying to find the right fit for our team.
So take us through when you see a name that interests you, maybe a kid that was a starting third baseman at Mississippi State or a backup, and he goes in the portal. What is the process for you guys from that point on? Is it phone calls? Is it diving into metrics on the kid? Kind of take us through that process.
Yeah, first thing is just finding out and making sure he's the right player. Noticing what a good player looks like is something we can all do. But once we see that he's a fit from a talent standpoint, then it's just really diving into the player. We got to make sure we have the right player and the right person in there. So we do a lot of homework on who the person is, contacting coaches, making sure character fits, and then he'll be a good fit in the locker room.
Are coaches always honest with you when it comes to talking about character and things like that?
Some are, some aren't. You have to know who you trust, and you really got to dig deep in some connections to really find out who these players are all about.
How important is the face-to-face meeting with these kids?
I think it's really important. On a phone call, it's easy for sometimes a kid might be able to pull one over on you, or you might be able to pull one over on him. So I think getting them to campus for a visit, seeing how they interact, I think that's really important.
Well, so you contact them, but probably other schools are contacting them too. So how do you win the day?
I think for us, it always comes down to the people, and we're able to get guys on campus, and they can see what Missouri State's all about. That's always our difference maker. Everyone has resources. Everyone has money nowadays. And so for us, the difference maker is in the people and how we develop our players and the people in the locker room.
Kyle, we hear other coaches say, nationally that the first thing kids bring up is money. What can you pay me? Is that a turnoff a lot of times for you guys as a coaching staff? Kind of how do you handle that when it becomes all about the dollars?
Yeah, it's part of the game now, so you kind of have to understand it. But it definitely is part of the game, and whether we like it or not, it's here to stay for right now, and so just something that we have to deal with.
Kyle, on your recruiting, where do you find in your opinion now, the subjective, where is the best high school baseball? What sector of the country do you find it?
Well, we've had a lot of success in Missouri, so we're really happy with the high school baseball we have right around us. I'm from North Carolina, so I always have a bias out there. But we've been really fortunate in our Missouri high school players.
So, Kyle, you mentioned everybody has resources. Do you have sufficient resources to do what you need to do in the portal?
We do. We're very fortunate in what we have. Obviously playing in a phenomenal stadium and great resources from a training standpoint. So we're fortunate in what we have, and we're in a lot better spot than other teams. And obviously some teams are in a better spot than us, but we're very fortunate for what we have.
Visiting with Kyle Cliff, the director of recruiting and pitching for Missouri State Baseball. Kyle, one of my favorite movies and one of the underrated sports movies, I think, was Clint Eastwood in Trouble with the Curve. I'm sure you've seen that as a guy who has to scout players.
Yes, sir.
He was old school. He was a guy that needed to be in the stands to see a kid and hear the ball come off the bat and things like that. You're in Wisconsin now with boots on the ground. Is that kind of the final thing for you guys, is if there's somebody you really want or you're really interested in offering, you need to go see him still, even in 2026?
I believe so. I think just being able to see a player compete in person can tell you a lot about who he is, whether he has success or failure that day. You can learn a lot about that player, being able to watch it in person, something that from a computer screen you can't always tell.
And what are some turnoffs for you when you're watching a kid? I guess turn-ons and turn-offs in that regard when you go see a kid live.
I think the biggest thing is he play hard. I think that's always the biggest separator. All the players have all their highlights on social media, so you can see that pretty easily. But I just think seeing how a kid plays, how he competes, I think that's the biggest thing I'm looking for.
Kyle, I don't think this is a false impression on our part, but it seems that these days the pitchers are getting physically, we're talking now, a lot bigger and a lot taller. Is that the case, and do you have a preference one way or the other?
They definitely are. They're definitely getting a lot bigger, a lot stronger. I think they're finding the importance of the weight room a lot sooner. But my biggest preference is a guy going out there getting outs, whether he's 6'5" or 5'8". So I don't necessarily have a preference as long as he can get outs for us.
So you're in Wisconsin now, and you mentioned you've been in Minnesota and Indiana. Is it just you that's out on the road this time of year?
No, our whole staff is. Our associate head coach, Jeff Jimenez, is on the road. Obviously, Hawk's on the road. And then Cale Johnson, our pitching coach, he's still moving to Springfield, but he's been on the road this summer for us as well.
Kyle, tell us your path to Missouri State baseball and that staff. Where did you play? And then kind of take us through your coaching climb up the ranks.
So I played a little bit all over. I played at a couple Division IIs, had a junior college stop mixed in there. Ended up playing and finished my career at UNC Greensboro, and then got right into coaching my first year after. Started at a NAIA school in Ohio, Rio Grande, and then spent a couple years at Southeastern Oklahoma Division II, and then before Missouri State, I was at a Division II out in Virginia as well.
I am old enough that I remember Rio Grande very well, and their all-time great basketball player. You might elaborate. How much is he glorified at Rio Grande?
He did. There was always a lot of big basketball tournaments for him, and our basketball court was named after him. So that was definitely a presence we had, and a lot of good stories came from that.
I bet they did, too.
Who is it?
Oh, God, I've blown his name now.
Was it Bevo something?
Yeah, Bevo Francis. Yeah,
Bevo Francis.
Yeah. Art?
So, Kyle, all in all, what kind of shape do you think the Bears are in from a talent standpoint going into next season?
We're really happy with where we're at. Feel like we have a really talented team, have an experienced team, something that helped us this past year. And so we're excited for where we're at. And, we just got to wait to see what the draft has in hold for us this weekend to see where our roster shakes out to be. But we're excited for where we're at and ready for the fall to get here.
We're getting ready to talk to Caden Bogenpohl at the bottom of the hour. And how excited as a staff are you guys for him had a little bit of a struggle because, the pitches he wasn't seeing this spring, but he goes out to Arizona to the combine event and really is Caden Bogenpohl with the exit velocity. Is that something you guys knew, obviously has been in there the whole time and came back out at the right time?
Yeah, we obviously knew it was always in there. And, the great thing about Caden is throughout the whole year, he never changed who he was as a person. And I think that was the most impressive thing. And so we're really excited for him this weekend to get his name called and represent us in a great way.
Kyle, when you come back to Springfield now, when do you start putting the baseball players through their fall drills? Because you do have some games.
Mm-hmm. So we'll start first day of class. That's when we can start up. So we'll get the guys acclimated that week and hit the ground running first day of class.
First day. Arthur?
Kyle, let me ask you, given your background, what was the connection that brought you to Missouri State?
So I actually didn't have a connection. I just saw a job posting that Hawk had posted, and I emailed him that I was excited about this opportunity. And a couple interviews later, and I was moving my wife out to Springfield, Missouri.
Wow.
Now, are you in that group of coaches that are playing in the Grip and Rip League?
I am not. I'm not participating, but I will be there watching, that's for sure.
What is the scouting report on a much older Joey Hawkins now?
Oh, he's still going to go out there and compete. And so I think we're going to have a lot of our players out there watching as well. So we're really excited about it.
Well, Kyle, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you the impact of the new five to play five rule. Have you guys figured out how that's going to affect your recruiting approach with Missouri State baseball? Do you go more high school? Do you lean one way or the other? Kind of take us through that and how you guys have kind of broken down that topic.
Yeah, so right now I think it's just finding out of who has that year and seeing how many years you have with each player and trying to figure out what that team the next year and the year after looks like. So I think it's just figuring out how many players you have eligible, and then you just need to have conversations with players if they're going to be taking that right now. But right now we're still just looking out for the best players possible, and then we'll be able to have that conversation when the time comes.
Does it impact any particular group, high school, JUCO, more than any other or not?
I'm not sure yet. I think that's something that we're going to see over the course of the next couple years. Obviously, the portal has really hit high school players probably the hardest. We're still very fortunate. We still recruit high school at a high level, and we still develop players. So for us, it's not going to impact where we recruit. I think just how many players each year it might have an impact.
Well, Kyle, we'll let you get back to work. And by the way, that was a very good assessment of your boss. Very positive. That's probably the best way to play that, is it not?
Oh, absolutely. I said he's a great coach, great guy to work for. I'm excited to watch him compete, and, we're going to have a good time out there.
Very good. Kyle, thanks for your time, and go find some bears, okay?
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time today.
You bet.
It's Kyle Cliff from the baseball coaching staff at Missouri State University, and they will be resuming their duties pretty soon because school will be opening up. Listening
bear
to the
hunting
starting
in Wisconsin.
What's that?
Bear hunting in Wisconsin.
Bear hunting, that's right.
Bear hunting.
Yeah.
Bear hunting up there, too. Hey, why not? There are players up there who can compete, and we've had them down here. Take a time out on the starting lineup. Back in a second. I think we tend to overlook the fact that in the coaching profession and the recruiting profession, that's 365 days a year, seemingly. They're always on the go.
And it's even worse now with the portal, and NIL, because the other thing that we kind of forget, and those coaches will tell you it's part of it, is you got to kind of re-recruit your own guys all year, because that guy who's not getting enough at-bats or not playing enough minutes, they're sitting there thinking, well, the portal's coming up. And if it's somebody you believe in and you want to develop, you got to do your due justice there.
And interestingly enough, and I think this is probably still the case, the player who makes that decision perhaps to leave school does not have to tell his coach. He can just go simply to whatever the organization is that handles the transfer portal and make his name available there, or her name.
Yeah, and compliance, and if you do that as a kid, it's kind of crappy. If that guy, got spent the effort and time and you to develop you, then you at least owe it to them to go in the office and say, "Hey, coach, I think I may go elsewhere."
Sure.
And a lot of times that coach is going to be like, saved us a tough decision here, and stuff too, because it doesn't always work out everywhere. And it is kind of ridiculous the number of kids in the portal in every sport now. I mean, you hear it and it's just mind-boggling. I think our first couple of days, there were like 1,800 baseball players in the portal this summer. And, Scott Nasby's great about telling you that, hey, you know what? About a third or more of those kids aren't even going to go play anywhere after that. They've given up their career, basically. It's very sad.
Yeah, it really is. You better have this is true in anything, you better have a pretty good plan B, when you put it all in on one thing and then it doesn't come through.
Well, the old proverb, which was used extensively when this first was allowed, is that grass is always greener.
Yeah.
And it isn't always greener. That's the trouble.
Exactly. Art, how many times did you almost enter the portal at the other station?
If there had been one, it would have been daily.
Ned, there'd been a few people, right, that would have explored the portal?
No comment.
No comment from Ned on that one.
So there's somebody on the line here.
Yeah. Let's see who we got here and see if we can get him on the air. We got to switch some things around to do that. Just a second. And caller, you're on with us. Who we got?
All right, Scotty. So yesterday, U.S. Baseball, along with the National Federation of High School Sports, proved that they have lost their minds.
Really?
Okay.
They have now agreed, starting in the year 2028, I think. It may be 2027. Anyway, the bats now, they're going to let 6'2", 225-pound seniors swing a drop six bat. They've changed the rules on the BB Corps.
And you might explain for the casual listener what that means, the drop six and the BB Corps.
Yeah, let's get a little background here. So we used to have a Besser bat, that bat exit speed ratio, and balls were coming off the bat so fast. This is back when our son Chip, who was about 6'2" and 220, and it was dangerous at a drop five. Now, then they went to the BB Corps bat, which was supposedly deadening it down a little bit. And now, once again, as we continue to address how soft we are, moms have been complaining that their 5'2", 130-pound freshman boy who's going to get drafted by the Dodgers for sure, but he's having to swing a drop three bat, which would mean the bat is 32 inches long. The weight would be 29 ounces. They're now going to allow drop 3, 4, 5, or 6 at the high school. U.S. Baseball's taking that over. It is going to be crazy.
Is that a safety
issue? I cannot believe we're doing that.
Is it a safety concern? A safety concern more than anything
100%.
else? Yeah.
Yeah, the reason they went from drop 5, Besser, to the BB Corps, because quite frankly, there had been a couple of lawsuits. I think there was maybe a fatality up in the Northeast, and maybe more than that. I don't know. It was bad, and then they deadened the bat down. Now, I have not heard whether they're going to do some magic chemistry with these new bats to deaden them down. Granted, they're going to be lighter, but are they hotter or not? I don't know all that. But it is crazy to think Sebastian Norman could get into the box with a drop six bat. That would be 35-29. Now, there's a bunch of old guys listening here. Back in the day when they had that Easton big green stick, that thing was 35-30. It was dangerous. I'm telling you, I've seen it.
And, of course,
now we're going to go to a drop. We have lost our minds.
Our caller is Mark Stratton, longtime baseball coach, and I know you're close to the Sutherland family. Can you give us an update on Curry, what you're hearing for his draft prospects this weekend?
Well, and I'm going to give you my personal opinion here. I have no empirical data. How'd you like that, Ned?
That's well done, Mark. Very well done.
Thank you very much. I have no empirical data, but my gut feeling is I think Curry's one of the top 250 players in the country, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And with what we got, 32 teams drafting. So that would put him on the front end, I think probably about round 7 or 8. On the back end, maybe 10 or 11. I think he's going to go. And, he's worked out for 6 or 7 6 or 7 different pro teams where they bring them in and do their thing. How would you like to get this, Art? You get a letter in the mail from the New York Yankees telling you we're going to fly you down. You're going to work out at the facility in Tampa and do the whole thing. And you're wondering, gosh, do I want to be a Yankee? It's pretty impressive, the letter, I got to tell you. I saw it.
I bet it would be.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you think about that.
And what do the pro scouts like about Curry? Obviously, I think the big frame at almost 6'5" and 240 pounds.
Yeah.
And
barefoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Scotty. Hey, he passes the looks test, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's 6'4.5" barefoot, weighs about 240. Throws the ball in the mid-90s. Now I'm sure they're not looking for him to be a pitcher. But he has got pop. He's got pop, there's no doubt. And everywhere he's been, you look at his body of work, and not only with the Bears, but during the summer when he was down the Carolinas League, I mean, he has hit quality pitching out of the park everywhere he's been. So, hey, that's what they're looking for. Great big old kid. These people don't realize you have to get, these kids go in and they chit-chat with them. They do some testing with them. I mean, it's not just, there's a bumpkin down in Spokane. Let's just draft you. That's not how it works. I mean, they invest millions of dollars in all of this. I mean, they've got scouts, and then they've got a regional scout, and then we've even created what's called a cross-checker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So to make sure that the other 9 people that have already said, yeah, that kid can play, then it gets on his desk or her, whatever, and then they cross-check to make sure everybody else's stuff is good. So
that's a 2-minute penalty in hockey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which, by the way, I'm going to bring this up to you guys. Let me stir up your soccer crew right now. We need to adapt hockey rules into soccer. So if you go down and act like a complete idiot or you do something, we're going to put you in the box for 1 minute or 2 minutes. You start running those guys off you wouldn't have any extended time. Nobody'd do that. That big old dude for Belgium, hey, they try to run him. He just gets up and runs over he plays it the right. I like that guy. Plus, he said America's a great place. You ought to come and visit. I like that.
A lot of them said that.
Hey, oh, yeah. Are you kidding? Once again, sorry, Ned, the legacy media sometimes is not very good.
It's not only not very good, it's harmful, as a matter of fact, in many respects.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with harmful. But and, hey, Art, congratulations on your award. Definitely,
you.
That's all good stuff. I know we're doing this wonderful morning show. I kind of forget. I reminisce with some other old guys, curmudgeon time, about when we used to drive home after the Bears game, and you had to get to your parking lot and get in there so you would not miss one word of Art and Charlie on the radio. And then that was the subject of everything in the morning. Of course, we'd get the paper in the morning, Dad. Remember we used to have a paper?
There used to be, yeah.
And you would get it in the morning. Man, it was so great. People would be down there standing in line waiting for them to bring it out of the news leader, which now has turned into some kind of, we've got too much stuff, guys. Scotty, they've turned that into some kind of storage place.
Yeah. Hey, Strat, we got to run.
Leader building.
Yeah, we got to run. We appreciate it, and call back again, okay?
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Coach Mark Stratton visiting with his timeout on the starting lineup. Back in a second. And we welcome you back to the starting lineup. It's great to have you with us. Starting lineup brought to you by Play It Again Sports, Swing Right Golf, by Citizens Bank of Rogersville, and by Marshfield Chevrolet. Ned Reynolds along with
Scott Puryear.
And Art Hains.
And we have a special guest on the line. He will ask not to call him at any point tomorrow during the day because a Major League Baseball team is expected to give him a call. We welcome in Bears baseball standout Caden Bogenpohl. Caden, good morning.
Morning. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Should we just call you Bogey? Because everybody basically does. Your mom, is she the only one that calls you Caden now, probably, or not?
Yeah. That's all honestly about it. So Bogey's good with me.
Well, what will and you're home in Jackson? I take it now, correct? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What will tomorrow be like for you? The draft starts at noon. How are you going to occupy time during the day?
Yeah, so I'm actually doing a draft party here in Jackson. Getting a lot of family and friends, together. And I'm just going to kill some time by, catching up with some old buddies, old coaches, and really just take it all in and get to see everybody, that kind of helped me get to that point and have been along the way.
You'll be tuning in on TV to watch the whole thing, Caden. But when you see this, what do you expect? What goes through your mind?
Yeah, obviously a lot to take in, a lot to grasp, but, it's just been, kind of everything I've worked for and looked forward to in my baseball career, up to this point. So it's obviously a really special moment. It's going to be an exciting day.
It will be.
Bogey, you've been given some idea about what area you might be drafted in?
Anywhere from second to third, maybe fourth, somewhere in there. It's been all over the place, but, I'll never know until tomorrow afternoon. So,
can you drive yourself crazy trying to speculate who it will be and when? And, I know you had a great showing at the Combine last month, and the exit velocity was Bogey-like off the charts, as it usually is. But I'm sure teams, have they been contacting you this week and talking to you about, hey, what will it take, things like that? And can you get any kind of accurate feel about who it might be?
Yeah, I've definitely tried to pick my number and pick my spots where I think I'm going to go. But and some teams have been reaching out. But, like I said, I've heard different things from yesterday to today and the day before that. So it's been all over the place. So that's where I kind of just started to, sit back and just let it play out all Saturday and not try to think about it too much or I'll drive myself crazy.
Bogey, you certainly have to have some subjective thought on how you did this year. Let's give us what Caden Bogenpohl's assessment himself of your final year with the Bears.
I thought it was my most fun year playing for the Bears. Made the regional, which is always our goal to do. So that was really awesome. Personally, as for my success went, not the year I wanted or expected really. But it's just a game of baseball, and I'm not going to let a 60-game stretch really define who I think I am as a player or any of stuff like that. But just it's just baseball. You're not going to succeed every day, and you're going to go through some slumps there. So it's all good. Like I said, it was the most exciting year I had as a Bear, and I can't ask for much more than that.
Caden, I know you had opportunities to go somewhere else before this past season and chose to stay here. Tell us about that decision.
Yeah, there was other schools out there, trying to get me in the portal and get me over there. But, I think it always just came down to, what I had everything I needed at Missouri State, and they poured a lot into me, as a freshman, developing me, getting me to where I was today. And I think I knew I didn't need to go anywhere else to even prove myself I was a good player, or, I didn't need anywhere else to get me to better on draft day. I'm going where I am today, out of Missouri State, and that's just going to be all right.
How much or how important was that combine in Arizona last month in terms of reestablishing, hey, I'm Caden Bogenpohl, and I have the exit velocity, and I'll do it with a wood bat? I mean, you had to come away from that feeling pretty pleased about the way it went.
Yeah, 100%. It was a great experience, and it went very well for me. So, I did everything there. I don't think I didn't do anything. So I went in there, just wanted to show everybody all the tools I had, and doing all the meetings and everything else in between. So it helped me out a lot, and like you said, I just wanted to kind of show everybody what I had in the tank.
Bogey, and coming up to Springfield from Jackson, how long did it take you to acclimate yourself to being away from home, number one, and to being a part of a baseball team?
Oh, it was pretty quick. I love Springfield from the day I stepped in it, and I didn't come home a whole lot besides Thanksgiving or Christmas, and that might have been it. So I acclimated pretty well, and it was a good time.
Well, Bogey, I know in addition to your hitting skills, your defense is plus, your ability to cover ground in center field, go get the ball and throw the ball. So that all has to be boosting your draft stock.
Yeah, that was the huge, development piece that I really wanted to get better at after my freshman year, and took a lot of pride in it, and worked hard every day to be the best center fielder I could be, and that this last season really kind of showed how good I could be out there, and even the ceiling. It was only my second full season out there, so there's a long way to go, but definitely the strides of improvement were awesome.
There's a team in Missouri not far from Jackson that has 7 picks tomorrow and probably could use a center fielder of the future. We won't mention any names, Cardinals. But have you had discussion? Are they one of the teams that you've talked to a little bit?
Yeah, I talked to them a little bit. But, like I said, I can't get a gauge on anything. So that would be super cool. I'm obviously a lifelong Cardinals fan. I grew up watching them, went to games every summer, so that would be pretty surreal.
A 6'6" center fielder. Now that is not particularly common in baseball at all, and yet you had during the course of your career a number of diving catches out in center field. How did you establish that, or had you always done that?
Definitely not always done that. I came into college and I could barely catch a fly ball out there. So I came a long way, but I think it was just the drive and the dedication I put into it. That first year after the sophomore fall, I think I was just like, all right, I want to be a great center fielder and put everything I had towards it and just work as hard as I could. And, to see it pay off was really cool to me.
You talked about this being a fun team to play on this year. You guys could mash when you got it going. I'm sure that was fun.
Yeah. No, everyone clicked, honestly, really early when everyone got on campus in the fall. And, it was history from there. It was a good group of dudes. Everyone had the same goal, and we worked for it and worked towards it every single day. And getting there, it was pretty cool. Like I said, to do it with the group and those seniors that have been there for a long time. It was pretty awesome.
Bogey, I think you and Curry were roommates for a while in college. Have you guys shared pre-draft notes and stories with this process? Because I know he's likely to hear his name called sometime this weekend as well. How's that gone for both of you?
Yeah, no, he definitely had some late night conversations about it, but he freaks himself out. He doesn't freak himself out, but he don't like talking about it. And I'm like, all right, I don't care. So yeah. He'll be all right. He's going to get picked up day 2 for sure to some teams. So he'll be good.
Did you have any contests at all, an inter-team contest that is? How many baseballs you can hit on top of the Bill Rowe Training Center?
No, I had not, no.
Because you parked a couple of them up there.
Yeah, no. Or I think one of the scouts told me I hit his car during BP one day, and that was kind of an awkward conversation to have, but it was all good.
Probably cost you some bonus money there as they replenish that scout there, Art.
Yeah.
Well, just Bogey, you'll be long remembered at Missouri State. You've left a legacy here, and very best of luck to you tomorrow and wherever you go.
Yeah, enjoy the moment. And how much do you weigh?
250.
250. Wow, 6'6", 250. Have you run a 40 for a time before?
I haven't ran a 40. I ran a 30 last week at the combine.
And what was that?
It was a 3.7 flat.
And I don't know, with a 30, is that good? Is that really good? Or
I honestly couldn't tell you either. I think it was like right around the middle of the pack. The high schoolers made me look really slow, so that kind of was downgrade.
Those kids, yeah.
Hey, did you play basketball in high school?
Yeah, I did up to my sophomore year.
Well, and that's kind of where I was going is Big Mike going from basketball to football. I guess if you don't hear the right number, Caden Bogenpohl tight end for Casey Woods Bears would be a nice fit. Did you play football growing up, and was that an option?
Yeah, no, I never did. And, Jackson's, a really good football school too. Mm-hmm. We went to state like 3 times, maybe I was in high school or something like that. But yeah, just never really got into it. I always knew baseball was my thing, and I just kind of played basketball along with it in the winter. But, going back, who knows, I might have played football, and, who knows what I could have done with that.
Well, at 6'6", 250 and probably a 4'6" or 4'7", at least 40, that'd be pretty appealing, I think, to some teams out there as well. But so, Caden, what's on the menu tomorrow for the draft? What's Mom got cooking for the party?
Oh, she ain't cooking anything. We're getting catered stuff. We got I don't even know. My sister took care of it all. I'm thankful for her because that was a lot to plan. But it's like wings, burgers. I don't know, the classic good finger food and stuff like that.
And how many people will be around? Probably.
150 or so, somewhere in there.
Oh my goodness!
150. That's a party. That is a party. And guys, who was it that bought his mom and sister Maseratis or Ferraris?
The guy over in Georgia.
It was the Chiefs guy, wasn't it?
Chiefs guy. Yeah.
What are we doing anything special with the bonus money, or what are we thinking there?
Yeah, no, I just kind of want to get drafted first, and then kind of think about all that and get the money and see what we can do with it. But I don't know. We'll think of something to figor out there. And
Well, I think the starting lineup show brought to you by Caden Bogenpohl. We could do that too, couldn't we? Though. But anyway, have fun with it. We've seen our share of local draft parties. Ned and I remember, and Art, the Steve Warren, local guy that they had barbecue in the garage and we ate for about 3 hours, and we wanted him to go later because it meant more barbecue was getting fired up. But I'm looking at the Cardinals picks. They have picks 13, 32, 50, 68, 72, 86, and 114. So we're just going to slot you in at pick 32 or 50 to get you more money. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's all right with me.
All right, we'll do it. Hey, Caden, enjoy the moment, and best of luck to you this weekend.
All right. Thank you, guys.
You bet.
He is Caden Bogenpohl, a Bears center fielder, visiting with us from Jackson, Missouri. Time out on the starting lineup. Be right back. And you're home for the St. Louis Cardinals as well. And the Cardinals will play the Atlanta Braves tonight and this weekend right here at 102.1. Welcome back, Ned Reynolds, along with
Scott Puryear.
Art Hains.
Great interview there with Bogey, and really happy for him that things went the way they did in Arizona. Mm-hmm. Because we're sitting there all spring wondering, did he cost himself some money, and because the numbers, and first of all, he was pitched around basically the entire first half of the season. It's hard to hit home runs when you don't see a home run pitch to hit. And then I think he fell into some habits there, maybe being a little too patient, from what I understand, and kind of got things going there late. But to go out to Arizona with a wood bat and have an exit velocity of 119 on a hit, there aren't many guys that can do that. And at 6'6", 250 and can run, he's still the total package for somebody.
No, that is impressive. So, yeah, I'm like everybody. I thought his draft stock dropped during the season, but he got it back at the combine with his showing where everybody could see what he could do.
Well, and I think it proves, again, that the pro scouts don't care. I mean, your numbers in college are with an aluminum bat. It's just such a different world. You put a wood bat in their hands, and that's why they all go play in the summers at these places, is to go show that they can do that. So, Art, Ned and I, was it this? Yeah, it was this segment. We were talking about the movie Trouble with the Curve, and Ned, you've seen it, right?
I have.
Art,
yes.
You've seen it, I'm sure.
I have not. No.
You need to hunt it down and watch it this weekend in particular with the draft coming up, because Clint Eastwood is your old school baseball scout. What is he, probably, Ned, in that movie in his 70s?
Oh, at least in his 70s.
In his 70s.
Yes.
And he goes to games and sits with his old buddies, and, they all, they like this, they don't like that. They pick up little nuances about the kids, but they're living in an age where it's kind of like Moneyball, where, well, the computer says this kid can do this and this kid can do that. And not to spoil the movie for you, but Clint Eastwood sees this hot prospect, cocky, hits home runs, but can't hit a curveball. And he points that out, and the team drafts him anyway, and it costs him a ton of money. And I think that's kind of what's cool is, talking about Bogey, is that you can look at the stats from college his junior year, and they weren't glittering, but when he gets in a cage and hits with a wood bat or in the dome out in Arizona, it's different.
And he has a very good concept of what the batting zone should be. He reminds me of Mike Trout. He looks just like him coming up there to bat. Big kid and can swing the bat. He has very good circumstance as far as getting into big league baseball is concerned. I think he'll do well.
Well, he walked over 50 times all 3 years that he was here.
Yeah. And that's a sign of respect and a sign that other team sees danger, if you don't do it correctly. 6'6", 250, he probably runs, wouldn't you say in football, maybe a 4.6 or 4.7 40?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that not the ideal tight end size out there now?
Yeah, but by the same token, you remember what Conzo told us when we were interviewing him several months ago?
Yeah.
I said, Conzo, you got Mike going to play football. You could have played football. Not crossing that center.
Yeah, not going across the middle. Hey, wanted to point out the NBA Summer League has been underway now for a couple weeks. It's kind of weird the way they do it. I think they rotate in teams to play in Vegas. But 2 games of note today, if you're looking for something to watch around 5 o'clock, the Houston Rockets and the Denver Nuggets play at 5:30 on ESPN2. We should see Trevin Brazile in his Summer League debut there. And right before that at 5, the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks play on Prime Video. And Keith Pallick III playing for the Knicks Summer League team. So chance to watch a couple local basketball guys get their first experience in the pro leagues there as well, too. So, Art, World Cup, France is in the semis. No surprise there. Will you be watching this weekend the remaining 3 quarterfinal matchups?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Saturday, I think France-Norway. Not France. England versus Norway.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a heck of a match. And, of course, then Argentina plays in Kansas City, the last game at Arrowhead, the second game on Saturday.
And Switzerland is really kind of a Cinderella, if you could call it, although they have had a history of doing pretty well in the World Cup.
Yeah, and, of course, Messi in Kansas City, probably the last time in his career that fans could. I wonder what those tickets are going for now. Last time I looked, it seemed like on the secondary market it was $1,200 to $1,500 to get in the building to see one of the greats play there. Probably the only time you may see him, in the Midwest. But Art, news yesterday, Jordan Walker joining Jack Jacks in the home run derby on Monday night.
Yeah.
I was saying I'm a little nervous about Jordan Walker going now that he's finally got his swing down and everything straightened out, because those home run derbies sometimes can screw a guy up.
Sometimes can.
Yeah.
But it just looks like it's coming so easily for him now.
Yeah.
He's got easy power. I'd like to think he'd put his usual swing on it, and he'd do just fine in the Derby.
You saw that come to the fore last night against the Brewers. Here the Cardinals are down, 6-1, put a couple of guys on, and Jordan Walker, to his credit, was able to work the count full. And here's I don't remember who it was for Milwaukee out on the hill, but he has a choice. Do you pitch away from him and load the bases, or do you come true down the middle? Came true, and that ball ended up way up in the upper deck somewhere.
Yeah, I think they had just pulled Henderson, hadn't they, and brought in a reliever?
I think it's a reliever, yeah.
And so, and if you're a Missouri baseball fan, if you follow both teams, Cards and Royals, I don't think you could have 2 younger, more sportsmanlike and gentlemanly-like guys to follow than Jack Caglione and Jordan Walker. I mean, those are guys that they play the game the right way. They're humble. You can just tell by their approach. I mean, when Jack hits one, he's not flipping the bat and, pointing at the dugout and everything else. He just runs the bases just like Jordan Walker does.
Yeah, exactly. Both great role models, and I think both fan bases can take heart in that they're going to have them for a long time.
And you watch on social media these clips that come up, and it looks like the bigger problem to me is not the major leagues, it's the college game. Where the bat flip and was it a Texas kid that drew a walk, and he's talking to the pitcher, out there like, yeah, you're lucky, buddy. You good thing you walk, man. All this stuff. It seems like at college is where maybe the young kids can pick up the bad habits now. I was watching those guys.
Well, you could be right. I hadn't really thought about that, but it has gotten out of hand. There's always been trash talk in basketball and, probably a little bit under the breath in baseball, but it's gotten too far.
Well, and you see these 10-year-old, 12-year-old teams with their boom boxes and their walk-up music, and a kid hits one out and he flips the bat up to 50 feet in the air, and he's got to make everybody know he just hit it and all that. I think they're watching a lot of these college guys, that those college coaches got their guys out of control a little bit too.
Keep in mind now that all these college games are on TV in some way or the other, and yes, the episodes are going nationwide where guys are picking up on this. I fully agree with you guys. I think it's gotten way out of hand.
Well, and it's really a reflection on the coaches. I mean, there's some coaches that won't permit that. But others, they don't want to stifle their creativity. let them have fun.
Can you imagine? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's a reflection on the coach.
Can you imagine somebody flipping the bat with Keith Gutton over in the dugout, and they threw it, 50 feet in the air, and took a minute and a half to get around the bases? There'd been a discussion when they were shortly after home plate.
And discussion
It'd be a short discussion.
It would have been a place on the bench is where it would have been.
Exactly. So, but anyway, big weekend. It's going to be weird Monday night. Ned and I were talking about the home run derby not being on ESPN. We had Chris Berman and back for so many years now. It's on Netflix, Art.
Goodness.
Yeah. Matt Vasgersian.
I get it, but I mean, it's Thursday?
Yeah, no, Monday night.
It's Monday night's home run derby. And this is, again, a reflection on Major League Baseball and their greed. Because where do you find the games anymore?
Yeah.
There is one thing they have done that I appreciate, and that is the 4-screen deal where they split the screen up.
Yeah, multi-screen.
And going from game to game to game. I do like that. That's a pretty good idea. But the rest of it where you have to hunt all over or pay extra, no. Come on, people.
No Chris Berman. We get Matt Vasgersian, who's the Jose Oquendo of TV broadcasting. Could be calling the hot dog eating contest and then a home run derby the next week there. And,
he's great.
Yeah, he does a good job. But, it'll be a lot of people tuning in Monday night going, wait a minute, where is this? Couldn't find it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. That'll happen. Gang, we are out of time. It's been great having you with us all week long, and we fully anticipate your patronage next week coming up. Have a great weekend, Ned Reynolds, along with
Scott Puryear,
Art Hains.
And as we round the turn, we are
down the stretch they come.
Thanks for being with us, folks, and we'll see you Monday right here on the starting lineup.
See ya.